talking about suffering, the self-loathing and self-pity which comes up initially, does one shun it and go deeper, or one has to stay with it? And if you stay with it, then what happens?
Okay, you put it very nicely, because that is the quandary of most of humanity, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to suppress it, and they're trying to run away from it. They don't want to face it. And they are at a loss to know how to integrate that into what we may call their self, how to integrate the whole thing. Now, the world teacher's signal contribution here is the following. He says it is brutal to have ideals. And most people are actually running away from one thought or another. It can be a sexual thought of lust. So nobody has coached you, nobody has trained you how to deal with it, how to come to grips with it, how to marry it, how to live with it. Nobody taught us this. So being very embarrassed by it, you may try to run away from it. But if it is very powerful, it won't allow you to run away. It will pursue you, like a ghost will pursue you. Or your ambition may possess you. And Krishnamurti may tell you that your ambition is obnoxious, that it is evil. But if the ambition is very strong in your chart, then it's not going to let go of you. It's going to go after you like a ghost will go after you. And it will take hold of you. Now, this condition, which is self-loathing, as Lakshmi Kumar said, or self-pity, is the actual reality in consciousness.
And does that give some relief at all initially, the self-loathing and self-pity for an individual?
Maybe some kind of negative attention to oneself?
No, I think one is at a loss to know how to deal with it. One doesn't know how to deal with it. One has not been tutored enough. One has not been coached enough how to handle that problem. So, because it's a very embarrassing problem, it may be very, for example, take jealousy. Now, somebody's destiny may be such that there may be a periodic arising of jealousy. Everybody, that person hears of a success story, of a sibling, of a friend, of a colleague, or of somebody in the newspapers, there's a surge of jealousy arising within you. Now, did you take any course on jealousy? I'm asking you.
No.
So you're not tutored, you're not coached, you don't know how to deal with these dark forces. So Krishnamurti is giving you very good guidance here. What he's saying is, usually try to take that negative thought, jealousy or lust or whatever it is, murderous thought, put it in a black box and hide it. But then it may make a visitation on you during dreams. It may come back to you. Or even during the waking hours, it may have a way of getting back to you. So Krishnamurti is saying, allow it to play out. Because it is one wave in the definition of the self. It is actually who you are, a piece of who you are. So why are you trying to run away from it? Because society told you it's a disgraceful thing, it's a shameful thing. But nonetheless, it is there. So how can you deny it? It's part of the reality. So allow it to blow up on your face. Marry it. Live with it. See what happens. That's the recipe of Krishnamurti. But you won't do all of this because this is serious work. And you are the victim of a whole lot of idealism, misplaced idealism, taught to you by society, which society tells you you've got to be like Ramachandra, you've got to be like Krishna Paramatma, you've got to be like the great saints, like the great sages. You shouldn't be your beastly self. That's what society is telling you. But Krishnamurti is giving you an opposite teaching. Krishnamurti is saying, be what you are, be authentic with yourself. Don't try to run away from yourself. Be that and see what happens to you. So you don't bring in the ideal and don't be ashamed of who you are. Be only that. Be very loving to that thought and feeling just as loving as a mother would be to a mischievous child, and the mother will never chastise a mischievous child. In the same way, be very loving and be very soothing, and then see what happens. Then you will see that that the artificial gulf you created by distancing yourself from that pity, self-pity, and that guilt and all of that, that is created by society. And if you become intimate with it, it will cough up its story to you. It will reveal its story to you, its mystery to you. And then the problem may come to an end. But if it is a much more stronger thing, it may not come, but you're not going to fight with it anymore. That's the main thing. Because the problem is in fighting with it. The problem, the thought in itself is not evil. Then what is evil? Evil is your sense of separation and division from that, wanting to conquer it, wanting to subdue it, wanting to banish it from your life. That is evil.